Looking to get back somewhere up in there. I like the fact that it's all open.
Looking for the mountains.
Pretty amazing.
Looking for that wild place.
I'm up in the saddle
Looking
now.
for the mountains. Looking for them wild places. Yes. The casket checkers back on the scene.
Back on the scene.
All right. I'm back on the scene. And this is my scene. It's the Bridger Teton National Forest. I'm east and slightly south of the city of Alpine, Wyoming. Bit of distressing news, and I had a feeling about this. Let me show you. This is the road going up to the Wyoming range, mountain range. Did I say that right? No. I had a premonition, because it's just too good to be true. This road goes all the way up to the very top, to the crest of the Wyoming range mountains. All right, and that's where I wanted to sit my butt with my tent tonight and the motorcycle. Just too good to be true. Anyway, I'm just gonna kick it right over here in the shade. Hey, the other thing is that because there has been no traffic for however long, I don't know, there's going to be some better chances to see wildlife. Yeah. You know, you can make the best out of a crappy situation. Yeah, we've got these biting black flies. That's why I'm wearing this jacket in this sweltering heat. It was 91 degrees in Alpine. It's gonna cool down nice up here, I know it. But we've got these black flies. They're not swarming. You know, I had them a few days back. I figured they'd be here, but it's not so intense right now. And it's just something to deal with. No sun for you. It's behind that tree. And wow, the cool down was nice, but it got down to 40 degrees, which was hard to believe. Couple things. There was a groan, a couple groans from over here, like, okay. That's a bear. Probably was coming down for some water. Saw me, smelled me, and got a little upset. And so put me on edge, but nothing happened. And there was an owl. It's amazing. He was probably, you know, just past these trees. And he was going strong for like an hour. And then started up again, a little farther away. So that was nice. Like to hear these owls. And for me, that's a premonition of a good adventure coming up. All right, I'm starting my hike, and I noticed this cable is cut. It's just wrapped around the pole here. The other thing is, I realized I could drive around and come up this and drive back. I tell you what, I need the exercise more than anything, and I don't really want to be in trouble. And also, that motorcycle is a beacon. If I go missing, they'll know to look there. Start to look there. And this is Blind Bull Creek. Wow, look at this one here. Now I'm a bit stumped right here by this track. Those are long digits on that foot, paw. I don't know. Can't say I've ever seen anything like it. It looks like a claw mark here. Probably puts that, about this high, maybe more. Just a short ways up the road is a spring, I think. Another feeder. On the map it showed feeders coming down. And look, the forest people that have been in here for drinks. Yeah, steady climbing. This road just keeps going up. Not serious. It's getting hot. And we've got these flies now. I slow down and they catch up and swarm me. And I'm just mostly watching my hands. Yeah, getting up here. I can see the ridge top here, back there. Maybe even up here. And here we have Blind Bull Lake. And there's water feeding it. It might be my lifeline up this way. I think the road goes over back in here. But still, there's quite a distance to the backside, which it might just switch again. I can see a bit of a ridge top way back there. Yeah, so the serious slide is at the very back of this canyon. Kind of looked like it from below. It looks like it happens quite a bit. The trees and whatnot. I'm gonna need some water sometime soon, and I hope I can navigate past this slide Yeah, looks like I can get through here. Up to through there is gotta be the pass. Beautiful. It was worth every ounce of energy to get back here. And look at this. There's the lake. And I'm pretty sure I can hear water flowing down there. Yeah. There's water. I just hope it starts somewhere back in here. Here's an even better answer. There's a spring right up in here. And there's my drinking water. Heck yeah. I'm gonna load up and get back to the crest to set up camp. Still going up. It's beautiful in here. And this is beautiful down here. Just the trickle of water still flowing way up here. I just can't imagine where it starts. Maybe just right in here. And not much further. That's awesome to see. I made it. Yeah, look at this. I'm in the saddle, and this is the crest of the Wyoming National Scenic Recreation Trail, I think we can call it. And maybe that creek starts up here, because it's right down in here, the draw. Be nice to know there's water up here. Nice, beautiful breeze up here. Just blowing the bugs right away. There's no bugs. The main focus of this journey to get here was to find the Wyoming Range Scenic Trail. Now there was some kind of trail marker back there, but there was nothing going up. There's a little bit here going up. And now just looking over, I don't know if that's a trail or a two-track, just on the bottom of that slope before the sage. So I might go look at that. That being said, the point was to hike some of that trail going this way tomorrow for however many miles, hopefully to find a water source. Now, again, with that being said, I'm going to look for a camp spot somewhere over this way. Alright, I followed this two-track to this back basin. There's the shelter. I'm going to check it out. And I think the trail heading north is right here. But I want to take a look here. See what we got. There might be water back here. Who knows? They might have a well. You know, they put these buildings near water, most likely. Yeah, and here's this trail, real visible, going this way. That's probably the one I want. Yeah, and here is just a tiny bit of flowing water right here. And it looks a little, oh, what would you say, with rust, chemicals. Right back in there, I think it starts. They might have a well in here. Just interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna cut through, check it out, and then go over to that trail. Yeah, they heard me coming. This whole thing is festooned with swallow nests. I guess good for them. Okay, let's take a look. It doesn't look like it's locked. Oh, damn. Pretty cool. I'll tell you what, there's got to be little rodents in here. Bunch of maps. There's no sleeping loft. My guess is it's a winter snowmobile hut. Alright, I was down there and I just kind of wandered around checking the water source to see if it got any better, and no, it didn't. So there's a water source down there, potential trickle of water, and I'm going to this ridge top here to look for a scenic camp spot, and then I'm looking out here, and way out there there's still some snow patches which could really offer up some water. I'm on the crest, yeah, and I found the Scenic Crest Wyoming whatever have you trail. It's right here. I'm gonna go this way tomorrow, and it's right here. I can see it across the top here over there. So that's good fortune. I was looking to camp here. There's not enough shade right now, and man, I hope to find some kind of a breezy location. The bugs are just horrible. I'm on top of the ridge. I've been hiding out in my tent, resting. It was a big day, a big hike, big effort to get up here. Oh, these flies are pretty bad, almost to like hatch extreme. For some reason they swarm my backpack, and I left it out there, and when I was looking for a camp spot, there would be 40 or 50 just all on the backpack and my legs, trying to get my hands. The thing about these bugs is they go for your hands like when you start to do something. So while you're doing something, they bite you, and it only takes like 15 seconds for them to get a good bite, and it's the worst on the hands. So I have had to wear gloves this last half of the day, which is okay. I'm sure I'm gonna find a bunch of bites tonight. So filming with the good camera up here, the views are astounding. They're just endless. It's gonna happen in the morning. These bugs don't come alive until 9 or 10. So I'll get up and get some film here in the morning. Yeah. Well, first off, I got to see the full moon last night. That was great. And it was just low on the horizon. It didn't rise up over us. It was far low on the western horizon. All right, it's getting messy up here with the bugs. The mosquitoes were around the tent all night. Surprisingly, they're not here right now. I think because they think it's going to rain. I thought it was going to rain. But any second now, that sun is going to come up over these clouds and it's going to get really, really hot here. And then I think the flies are going to come back. One thing to mention is this bird song I captured. I've never heard such an intricate song. And I kept having to think, does this little bird have all that breath in him to make such a long song like that? Amazing. When I first got here and was in my tent, it was almost like a competition for the bird songs. Anyway, we're gonna get film. We're gonna spend another night up here, however it turns out, and probably head back down tomorrow. So this is gonna be like a 360-degree pan from up here. Now this over here, that looks oddly like there's some fires over there. And I thought I smelled smoke a little while ago. That's precipitous of me leaving. Alright, here's some nice mountains over here. I think these are McDougal Mountain, all one mountain, I think. Continuing, we've got this guy here. Farther out, you guys. And across the Grays River Valley, these mountains on the opposite side. And there's a whole huge basin in this direction. I did have a decent view yesterday from over there. I think the trees are in the way. This cloud bank has just been holding here, I think, all night. Weird. And the way that, yeah, those are fires over there, and I don't recall any lightning strikes lately, except a week ago, right? A week ago I was about, not far at all, another 50 miles south in the Salt Creek drainage, and we did have lightning strikes back there. I'm wondering if those are residual fires from lightning strikes a week ago. Messy. And here we have, I think that's Dead Man's Lookout. I was there down below 2 years ago, and today I'm gonna be heading kind of in this direction. There's a water drainage back there, and we'll probably get some better images of this basin. Here's a view looking down into the basin to the west. I don't know the name off the top of my head. Temperature was mild last night, 50 degrees. I did hear footfalls, nothing close. I had a grouse, male grouse up here making his call, which is like this tubular. It's real interesting. Nothing else out of the ordinary. Light footfalls around the tent. No hoof footfalls, but just kind of pad footfalls. I just said out loud, hey, I'm in my tent right here just to let you know. And maybe a few distant hoof footfalls. Boy, I'm really surprised I haven't seen any elk. Alright, this is the road I came in. I was beyond those trees last night. The winter warming hut is over here. And here is the beginning of the trail from the outfitters camp heading north on the high country route. Some nice water here. And we've been looking at the trail and animal signs. Lots of elk, deer, people, horses, cats. So tempting. Right up there. I think there's a trickle of water coming down that chute. I had to listen real closely, and I think that's what we got. It's dark, indicative of water back there. And right here in the middle, the views would be pretty amazing, I think. Okay, I'm just gonna keep this in mind and go up here and take a look over into the next basin. Here's the next beautiful basin. Yeah, close to Dead Man Peak there, closer, and the trail veers off to the right below that snow striped slope back there. Here's this big basin here with hopefully some water down in this draw, and I'm seeing, I guess this here is the trail up to this butte. I was hoping it went through the draw. It might be where I go, I don't know. Probably have some nice camping up here, because I know what's in the next basin. I've been there. Quite a nice bit of water. here, over here I think. And we've got a bit of some falling here that I'll go to catch some water. Here there's a large amount of water coming down this drainage here. And so I'm gonna follow it up before I get water. There's gotta be, you know, even some decent flow back there by those trees. Well, I guess I asked for it. I've got a sea of sage to clamber through. And there's some grasses here. The fork is here. Kind of wanted to see where the water's coming from. But hey, I feel it's a no-brainer. It's coming from back there. With so much water down here. It's got to go back another mile. Here it is. And it almost looks like there's equal amounts of water coming down each of these drainages. Two options right now. The obvious is to go down here, get water. I could climb up that chute and head for that ridge top back there. Or I could go up the spine here and get to this ridge top. I'm coming up this slope. Got my water down here. I've got 2.5 liters now, unless something leaks out. I'm really liking this exit tomorrow on top. It's got to be one of the trails going up, and I don't know if there's water in this back there with the willows. Makes it look like a spring. Water's not an issue right now. Just finding a camp location right now. Got some clouds building back there. And here again I'm seeing the tops of these mountains this way. You know, and here it is. It took like an hour and a half easily to come through here. I just kept stopping and looking. But we're not going back through the sage. Faux pas. Glad I checked when I did. Timber. My bear spray fell off when I put my pack on. I gotta get it. Woo! Muddy mess, right? Come on. Coming up. That's about it. A big bull moose. Just came right into his place here. Oh, sheesh. There he goes. Come on. Look at this. A spring right here on this ridge line. And I shit you not, there was a bull moose and I just walked right into his zone. he took off this way. Wake up, everyone. Yeah, I can't say I'm not happy to be up here. Not exactly what I expected. I was hoping to find camping somewhere in these trees, but that moose is over here now, and that's his zone down here. And I think I'm gonna try and push somewhere else. No tree cover up here. I'm just gonna keep going. There's no way I want to be close to this guy back here. Yeah, he might want to come for payback. Here we are on the top of a snow line here with water draining right out of the bottom. Still putting distance between that guy and me. I'm looking at these trees. I'm hoping there's a smooth way to get down. Fact is, if I had to, stuff like this I could do. And way back there I see my first elk grazing. Yeah. We got clouds still on the horizon, but that's east. And that's kind of like where that cloud front was hanging all night last night. See more of the fire smoke now. It's an ominous sign. But the wind is coming from this way. Great views now. Yeah, I'm up here. Yeah, we need to wrap it up. These bugs are getting to me. Oh, there's a nice spot way over there on the edge of that green. Yeah, some big ones over here now. First I said this was a surprise with this basically snow melt through here. But then look at down here. It's gonna be a steep climb in and out. But I'm gonna filter a liter of water because I know my travel liter's down to nothing. Right there. And we'll have 3 liters up here tonight. Nice. in the tent again. Super breezy location, but I goofed with the sun. I thought it was going that way, and it's gonna go that way. So we've got some clouds, and they've just been, oddly enough, stationary. With all this wind, they're not moving much at all. So I've got some cloud blockage now. I'm just afraid I'm gonna bake in here any minute. And yes, I'm escaping from the flies. No mosquitoes, this wind is too much. And how about that? That bit of adventure today with the moose, the bull moose. You know, it started when I was nearing that thicket, and I reached down for the bear spray, just for reassurance, and it wasn't there. That's okay. I've got a precaution set now that won't allow it to fall from my backpack strap. But who would have imagined that big bull moose hiding out on that tiny little bit of ridgeline hill going up, and I get into it because I see there's a kind of a way to get through it, and it's all wet, like spring wet, mushy wet. The whole area is wet, and then I get to a point where it's like literally flowing water from a spring. And from the get-go, I'm making noise. When I get into a thicket or close to that, I make noise like, here I come, I'm coming through. Wake up, come on everybody, I'm coming through. And I'll do this hey, because it's the loudest like thing I can do. I didn't expect anything, and I had scared it out of his like hideout, which was water to drink and willow leaves to eat. Perfect hideout, except for here comes the Cascade Trekker, like going up this oddball ridge. Yeah, he was scared out, and then I saw him, and he was trying to figure out what was going on. He's like looking at me, and I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to slow my pace, because I'm just going to keep going to let him know that I'm coming through. And he trotted away. Wow, what crazy adventure for me today. Yeah, bright and sunny exposure here. I desperately had to move the tent yesterday afternoon from over there. It was just full sun, mistakenly, and it would have just been torture for hours. And so I had some nice shade when I came over here. Very calm, peaceful night, probably mid to upper 40s temperature. And we're gonna head down. We might even head home. These flies have reached an extreme where in the late afternoon they're just swarming. Now yesterday, I don't know how it worked out, but well before the sunset, the bugs vacated. And I was feeling some cool air coming this way, and it might have just been from these snow patches emanating cold air. Anyway, it's time to get a couple pictures because this morning exposure with the sun facing a bug facing west, it's not so hazy. I'm taking the lower trail, if it's a trail. I hate to have to start bushwhacking through this sage. There's something here. It might go up that way. Over here is the thicket where I encountered the moose. Who would have thought that that little stretch of trees and, you know, shrubbery. Here we have just the tiniest little elk. This tall, guys. Oh, just heartwarming, I gotta say. Right on this trail, the mother and her calf. Up here is a deer. Wow. Just amazing. This tall. This little elk was this tall. Gosh. Fantastic here. My departing high view. And just here was a buck deer. And that mama elk is somewhere in the forest here. And just this beautiful, beautiful basin here to cross.